ScouterStan. Let's talk a little bit about the Firem'n Chit. Now, this is an excellent opportunity for scout leaders to train scouts on how to build fires safely and earn this coveted training achievement. Now, before we go too far, there was something messed up with the algorithm or something. Apparently, when the AI looks at Firem'n Chit, it thinks I'm saying actually something completely different. So I had to go in and re-record a lot of stuff and try to get this all fixed so that it would start running again. But with that being said, hopefully this will work and there won't be any issues. Generally, the overview of the Firem'n Chit, and that's spelled C-H-I-T, starts with leaders who go through the requirements for this achievement with the scouts. We need to emphasize the responsibility and the privilege that scouts are given to handle fire safety. Now, going over the requirements in the handbook is important. We are going to focus more on the leadership responsibilities, this achievement. Now, the skills covered by the Firem'n Chit break it all down to the essential skills. This is important for teaching the scouts. There are many fire safety rules that need to be observed, and the proper ways to actually start and extinguish a fire. Safety practices with matches and lighters is also needed to be covered, and other tools that might be needed for safe fire usage. Now, this kind of goes back to the Totem Chip podcast that we did just a few weeks ago. So definitely go through the catalog and check that out also. The importance of fire safety in scouting is essential, especially in the outdoors and the activities that the scout might be involved in. Make sure that when you're training scouts that you talk about potential dangers and the positive of keeping fire safety in mind. Always remember to fostering a responsible and awareness whenever fire is involved. Now, here's an amazing part. The Firem'n Chit and personal growth go hand in hand. This teaches the scout a vital skill on how to use fire safely. It requires self-discipline, respect for nature, and confidence in their outdoor skills. This reinforcing their growth as a responsible individual. Now, when you're training for this skill, demonstrate the key fire building skills. Make sure that you briefly explain and demonstrate fire building basics, like setting up a safe fire site. Explain the different types of lays, the different fire lays that can be done, such as a teepee or a log cabin or a lean-to. And make sure that the scout understands that areas that have a fire ring may find it difficult to build a fire, such as a log cabin on a round ring. Log cabins do tend to be a little tall and tend to fall over halfway through the burning process. So this has to be compensated for. And finally, don't forget about leave no trace. Those principles are essential to maintaining a campfire. Now, with every skill, it can be difficult at times, and they can also run into some violations. And there are consequences for misusing fire. When you're working with the scout, highlight the importance of using fire responsibly. And when the scout doesn't abide by the Firem'n Chit, there are responsibilities or consequences where their card could be revoked. Just like in Totem Chip, there was a time when corners were actually cut off of the card. This tends to be more of a bullying situation, and it's true for the Firem'n Chit. Revoking or holding the card back from the scout to reinforce consequences for misusing fire is far better. Of course, too deep leadership has to be observed. Regardless, it is vital that the scout leaders reinforce this responsibility to the scout in a responsible way. Other scout awards and skills are reliant on the techniques within the Firem'n Chit. It is often an aspect of scouting, such as in wilderness survival, even the totemship, generating wood for the fire, and general outdoor skills. Scout leaders need to encourage other leaders to reinforce these skills. Be the example, not the exception. Suggest ways for other leaders to train by example, and make sure that they reinforce fire safety and skills that include regular safety adherence. Doing this on a regular basis makes the skills stick in the scout's mind as far as safety, and always end every learning session with how to put out a fire. It's just as important of how to start a fire. Now, I can just imagine all the scout leaders out there who have started fires with flint and steel, and even friction bow, where they can actually create an ember and flames from that. That is absolutely amazing. When we start a fire, we're not just warming our hands over it. We're actually starting a fire in the scout to achieve and accomplish and do it in a safe manner. We do a lot of things for our scouts, and I'm so proud of all the things you do, all the things you learn about on your own time. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to see you on the trail.